This is Valley News Live at noon.
Good afternoon and happy Monday. I'm Jillian Trudeau. Thousands of nurses in Minnesota launched a 3-day strike today over issues of pay and what they say is understaffing that has been worsened by the strains of the coronavirus pandemic. The labor action includes 15,000 nurses and 7 healthcare systems in the Minneapolis and Duluth areas. Those groups have recruited temporary nurses and say they expect to maintain most services. Nurses were seeking more than 30% increases in compensation by the end of the 3-year contract. Hospitals have offered 10% to 12%. Well, a chilly start to the day, but it'll end up being pretty nice out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Gash.
Thanks, Jillian. Yeah, this morning was a bit chilly if you woke up a bit early, but we will see a warm up in our future. Right now, we're looking at our Home of Economy Skycam out in Devil's Lake, and as you can see, there's a bit of a cloud cover out there, and that's going to start making its way into the bulk of the Red River Valley as we move on into the afternoon. Here we are with temperatures, and most everybody is in the 70s. Here in Fargo, it's 71 degrees, Jamestown at 77, and Grand Forks is our hotspot for right now at 78 degrees. Our Skycam, or our sky conditions rather, are mostly clear. As you can see, there are some clouds starting to make their way into our region, but those won't really get into the way of anybody's sun tanning out there, maybe a bit of a shade. As we look into this afternoon, we'll see our temperatures steadily increase to about 80 degrees here in Fargo, and we'll continue to see those sunny skies. We do have some rain in our future, and I'll let you know what you can expect with that and when it will happen.
All right, thanks, Jim. An 18-year-old man is dead and another is injured after a head-on crash in Grant County. It happened yesterday afternoon on Highway 79 near Elbow Lake. State troopers say 23-year-old Dalton Johnson of Brandon was heading westbound when he collided with a car coming the other way. The State Patrol is not yet releasing the victim's name, but does say he's from Hoffman, Minnesota. Johnson was not seriously hurt. A Nome, North Dakota man is critically injured and facing drunk driving charges after crashing his UTV near Lisbon. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says 51-year-old Bruce Storhoff lost control when he drove from one ditch over a highway to another ditch on Cass County Highway 38 Saturday night. He's hospitalized in Fargo. Mourners in Scotland are saying farewell to Queen Elizabeth today as she makes her final journey back to England. CBS's Ian Lee reports from Windsor.
King Charles III led a solemn procession behind his mother's coffin as thousands packed the Royal Mile in Edinburgh to say goodbye to Queen Elizabeth.
I know she was 96. But I cannot believe the Queen's dead.
The Queen's flag-draped coffin is topped with the Scottish crown inside St. Giles Cathedral as the monarch lies in rest for 24 hours, giving mourners a chance to pay tribute.
She meant the world. She was just like everybody's grandmother.
After a prayer service, King Charles will stand guard with the Queen's other 3 children around their mother's coffin in a ceremony known as the Vigil of the Princes. Earlier today, back in London, the King addressed British Parliament for the first time, pledging to follow in his mother's footsteps.
She set an example of selfless duty, which, with God's help and your counsels, I am resolved faithfully to follow.
Queen Elizabeth will reach her final resting place here at Windsor Castle 1 week from today. After the funeral, she'll be buried in St. George's Chapel alongside her late husband, Prince Philip. Even in sorrow, Brits are celebrating their new king.
I took an oath to the Queen, served in the army for 7 years, so it's nice to see the new Commander-in-Chief.
The Queen's body will be flown to London tomorrow night, where she will lie in state for 4 days. Tens of thousands of people are expected to line up to pass her coffin and thank her for 70 years of service. Ian Lee, CBS News, Windsor, England.
Prince Harry released his first public statement this morning, calling his grandmother a guiding compass and praising her unwavering grace and dignity. More than 100 veterans are touring the nation's capital on their first full day of the Veterans Honor Flight of North Dakota and Minnesota. The group had a whirlwind day that started with a water cannon tribute at the Grand Forks Airport, then a personal welcome in the Baltimore Airport. Alongside Valley News Live's Jordan Schreier, the group eventually made their way over to Fort McHenry and toured the birthplace of the Star-Spangled Banner, then went to the D.C. and saw the FDR Memorial. This trip is bringing out some strong feelings for those touring the monuments, many just happy to be alive.
I didn't imagine what it would be like for the send-off compared to what I had or received when I got home.
The people really today are getting really behind you, giving you a lot of respect that you never got back in the 60s.
Today they'll be visiting Arlington National Cemetery. We'll have much more coverage tonight on Valley News Live. Drivers in downtown Moorhead are getting a look at the future this week, but it's going to mean lane closures and reduced speeds. The Minnesota Department of Transportation is teaming up with the city on a test run for a 3-lane setup at Main Avenue and Highway 10 starting today. The demonstration will involve reconfiguring that stretch into one driving lane in each direction with a center left turn lane. There will also be on-street parking and curb extensions at pedestrian crossings. People are encouraged to try it out while the demonstration is in place until mid-October. The proposed layout is similar to what Main Avenue travelers experience in downtown Fargo. You can tell the Minnesota DOT what you think of the idea starting September 26th through an online survey which will be available on the project website and at the City of Moorhead. And a reminder about programming changes happening today. Days of Our Lives will be moving off of NBC and onto the streaming service Peacock. The slot is being replaced with a new program called NBC News Daily. Peacock has a special offer this month for you to sign up for $1.99 a month. Well, coming up at noon, what shows and TV will take home the top spot at tonight's annual Emmy Awards. But next, Jim is back in with weather to plan your Monday.